Hello, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Trash It with your fan favorite panel. Welcome back, Sade. It's been a minute that we've seen you, but we're happy to have you here. And your regulars, we've got Celia, we've got Jabu Jansis, and we've got Funshaw.
Hi,
Now, on the show,
everyone.
hello. On the show today, we're going to be talking about sex. So if you have any underage persons with you, this is the moment that you have them leave the room. I'm going to give you like 2 seconds to do that. Boom, they're gone. Now, in preparation for first dates, for those that don't know, ladies, we tend to do our hair. No, I don't have any hair. But Sade and Celia, they're rocking their bone straights. We fix our makeups and we shave our legs. And for the men, they just shower. So it's true.
No,
But everyone has their
not
own
true. No.
Everyone has their own ideas on how a first date should end. And there's some people that say, oh, you should wait at least at least a minimum of 3 different dates before sleeping with someone new. And there's some people like, what the heck? You only get to live once. We are not in the area of sexual wokefulness. So let's get jiggy with it. So I'm going to go to Sade first before I go to sleeping with someone on the first date. Is that a bad thing?
What's the big deal? It's sex. It's for both couples. It's for the two of them. So I think it depends on the connection and what they're after. We're in a society, I'm not talking about Nigeria now, where, you know, the girl has to act up and act like a good girl and say no, first day, second day, maybe third day, maybe after a month, she might say, okay, whatever. But I don't function like that. Nah. For me, it's about the two of them, the connection. They like each other. What's the big deal?
What's the big deal? Okay, so let me pray a bit, and feel free to shut me up here. So, have you actually slept with someone on a first date, and how did that end?
This is honestly, I have, and one of my best relationships in my life. So yeah, we're still friends to today.
Okay. So let me go back again. So what you knew right from the onset you were gonna sleep with this guy, or was it just something that just happened in the course of the date is finished? You're like, oh, it was a nice time, you kissed, and then boom.
It depends on the individual.
I'm asking about your experience. Like, was it a
okay? My one is like we've been talking for a while on the phone, so that's like the first time. So there's already a connection. We're getting along. We've been talking, and then we decided, okay, let's just hang out and go out. And it was actually very natural and very nice because we've been getting to know each other over the phone like last few months. So it was okay. It was no big deal.
Okay. Celia, sex on a first date, is that a bad thing?
What's good? I mean, one man's meat is another man's poison, right? So, for me, I don't think I would do that anyway. I just, especially if I met him on Tinder or if I met him on a dating site, and we don't really have that connection. So I don't really see why I should be dropping my drawers for him on the first date. However, if you've been talking to this person, you guys have been maybe talking for months, you've been video chatting and things like that, and you've been able to build that relationship, and you guys are singing from the same book in the sense that, okay, you want to be in a serious relationship, and that because it could take, I don't know the way relationships these days are happening, because a lot of relationship, the relationship are so messed up these days that you can be talking to a guy for months and the guy will still tell you, well, we're just friends, I never asked you out, right? And a lot of things would have gone down already. That's why for me, as soon as I meet someone that I think, okay, I like him enough to have a long-term relationship with him that could lead to marriage, yeah? I'm not saying it will, but it could lead to marriage, and I know that I want to enter into a relationship with that person. I'm also trying to find out from the person if he feels the same way. And if he feels the same way and we know where we're going, then yes.
On the first date.
No, not from the first date, right?
Okay.
Not from the first date. Because the difference, okay, so would you class someone that has been speaking to someone on the phone, right? And they've been chatting, but they've never met, but they've been speaking for like maybe months, right? And then when they eventually meet, they have sex. Is that sleeping with someone on the first date? Would you
Yeah.
class it as that? Okay.
Yeah.
So, but for me, and then how can you now also class someone that's just met someone off Tinder for the first time and then sleep with them on the same day?
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you
mhm.
is it a bad thing to have sex on a first date?
That's what I'm saying. So it depends on what the first date is. For me, I wouldn't class a first date to be someone that I've been talking to on the phone, chatting with, doing video call with for months or for weeks. And then when we eventually meet, I have sex. That's not first date for me. Yes, we're seeing. It's
That's
not
the first date.
Because that's the first time you guys are physically
okay,
meeting.
but so how can you, but wait, Funshaw, how can you quantify, how can you put that?
The other one is one night stand.
Sorry? Okay, the other one is a one night stand, right? Okay, well,
this one is the first date, yeah.
Okay, so that's how you see it.
What about one day stand? It doesn't have to be at night.
Dates, yeah.
We meet today and have sex. Me and you can meet today at a friend's party and still smash today.
In the toilet of the party.
So that one is not the first date.
You know. So for me, I wouldn't. So if I've been speaking to a guy for months, right? We've been video chatting, we've been texting, we've been doing all sorts of things. We've agreed that we are in a relationship, right? And then we eventually meet a month or 2, 3, 4 months later and we have sex. I wouldn't class that as a first date. Because that person has...
the first time you're going out on a date.
Yeah.
That's the first time we're meeting. But for me...
It's the first date.
Yes. I know what Celia is saying.
It is the first
You
date.
get me? Because for me, I've seen people, they meet someone and they...
Potato,
it's still the first date.
It's a first date.
It's the first date.
Are you smashing? Yes or no?
It depends. It depends. I can't answer that because if I've been going for...
That doesn't make you cheap.
No, I'm not saying it does. No, hold on.
We're not saying that.
Why are we making a big deal out of sex?
Can I just say, can I answer my question? I mean, they ask questions. Thank you.
Let's see answer our question.
I'm making it long now.
No, it's my time. This is when they call your name, you can also stretch it out. For me,
smash on first date, Celia.
No.
Smash, not sex.
No, for me, as I said, it's not a big deal, right? If I'm coming from a place where maybe I haven't had sex for weeks or for months, and I really feel like I want to have sex, and I have seen, I would not, okay, let me just put it this way. It's a no if I don't know the person. If I'm meeting the person the first time, we've never spoken, we've never had any kind of relationship, and I'm just meeting you on Tinder, and you click me, I click you, and we meet in somewhere for dinner, and then after that we book a hotel room. No, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm not doing it for the fear of diseases and everything else. So no, I'm not.
Right. Before I go to the men, like, I like it that Shade said, well, it's sex, it's no big deal. So I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. Now, if there's anything women are kind of scared for, and I speak for myself, is we do not want to be sentenced into the life of bad sex. Celia, would it not be nice for you to know what you potentially might be working with by just getting that out of the way?
On the first, no, it's not. No.
All right.
What am I working with?
Oh my God, you guys are killing me.
I just wanted to be clear. All right. Now, to Jagwajantis and Funshot, same question.
You guys are killing me.
Is sex, is it a bad thing on a first date?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you are the man now. We should have instigated. So it's, of course, it's a no.
No, it's not like that. Not like, you see, we Africans, we in our community, we see sex as a sacrilegious activity, you know, which is very wrong. When you go, we come out tonight, meet you at the pub or nightclub, dance, jiggy, everything, and that connection just comes from something you do different to our boyfriend, and you're touching her, you're dancing, and she's looking at you, and the kiss will happen. And before you know it, pam, 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 pam. And then tomorrow, you may even send her a text, and she like, sorry, we've done nothing together. I don't know you. That was just it. That's about it. That's where it ends.
And that's because they have a different culture than us.
Yes. So that is first sex on the first day. It is different from sex on the first date. Date is me and you, we've been chatting, we've been talking, exchanging pictures. Maybe you've been sharing nudes. The connection is already there. You've been thinking about, this girl, when I see her, I'm gonna, you've played, you've messed about with each other.
That you are, Abby.
Yeah, exactly. You know, with and you two, you're being like, oh, my leopard. Or which one is that one with Max? With Max?
A zebra.
Yeah, you're my zebra, you're my tiger. And she's like, oh, you two, you're my lion. And you see each other, you can't even help it. Before you finish your lunch, you're already tearing yourself apart. Two different things. It is sex on the first date, but with prior relationship, prior connection. It is different from somebody going to club, drinking all night, dancing. Oh, you came with your friends. Yeah, me too. This is my first time at this club. And the next thing, you end up in each other's hotel room. Those are two different things. But we Africans, we see sex as this thing like some spiritual force that must not be played with, because if I'm doing it with anyone, the person, it must lead to marriage.
Exactly.
You know, so it can't always lead to marriage. Not all of us will be married, and not everybody that is married will be happy, and not everybody that is happy will be in a relationship. It's not. I don't know how to put this, but a lot of people we see out there that are forming Mr. and Mrs. Perfect are actually crying inside. And a lot of single girls or single mom, single parents out there, they're far better than 20 couples put together. So not every relationship will end up in marriage. You see somebody you like, you know that the connection is there and is mature, and he knows how to keep his mouth shut. Smash away and move on.
Okay, all right. Now that is pump your brakes. Let me go to Funshaw. Funshaw, judging from what everyone said, there's an argument for and against. But is sex on a first date, in the context of a first date, is it a bad thing?
I really don't know if it's a bad thing or not.
You're following my hand, though.
I am an advocate for define what you want to get into. You get, and I'm also an advocate of do what pleases you with your body. It is your body. No one else's body. Now, having said that, sex on the first date, I don't think it's a big deal if you have put your mind to it that you want to have it. If you're not going to have it, then there's no big deal about it. You get. I once dated a girl, like the other guys have tried to paint it, and we have been talking for like over a year. And after, on the first day, we still saw, and she said no, nothing is going to go down until the third date, and she stayed by it until the third date. You get. So, but does that mean that we're going to live happily ever, or we're going to get married?
Or you won't dump her. You probably dump her.
He's dumped her already. I know who he's married to.
No, my problem is, let me say something. Women need to hone their sexuality.
Exactly.
It's not about the men.
Exactly what I'm saying.
I went out with him, he paid for the meal, or he didn't pay for the meal, and then at the end of the day, he used me. No, we used each other. It's sex. You should enjoy it. It's about you as well. There's nothing like he used me.
So
enjoy it as well.
Like if any guy is going for it, most guys, maybe let me say 95 or 99% of guys, when they're going for a date, they have that at the back of their mind that they want to smash.
Okay.
Maybe there's a condom hidden somewhere in the panties pockets. Those that are used to have those boxers that have spare pocket, they keep condom there. Anything might happen. You get. But for the ladies also, they should have a mind of their own, whether they want to do this.
Oh, sure they do. They wear nice sneakers and wear nice bras, but they just
exactly. Why do you
But the fact that they wear nice lingerie don't mean they want to smash though.
They want to.
No. I don't think so.
They shave that thing. They shave that thing before coming.
Of course. See, the thing is,
sometimes I do all these things.
I know, like, hold
on,
sometimes they might do all these things.
Hold on,
They don't really want. They might do all these things because they want to look nice.
Thank you.
Nice. They want to be good to themselves. Fine, things might happen eventually that you didn't plan for. But what I'm trying to say is that whatever you want to do, Like, be satisfied with yourself, with your conscience that, okay, I want to sleep with this guy, and that's it. It's not like you don't have to wait for the society to judge you that you slept with this guy on the first date. You are say Olosho, or what the Jaguaritis to call
Okay,
it.
let, let
Or
me let me let me pump your brakes there, and this is Jabadantis and Funsha as well. So I know both of your spouses, wonderful ladies. So I would assume that for most of your relationship, you've ended up having sex on the first date, and it's not mean anything to you.
for
No,
my
it's
own
not most.
for my
Oh,
own relationships, there were some that I told you stories that I had to chase for 6 years before getting into the promised land. While there are some that it happens for, in fact, it was the sex that led to the relationship, and it was a wonderful relationship. So it really doesn't matter whether you have sex before or after. The sex will still be the sex when it eventually happens. So the bottom line is, if the lady is willing to do it on the first date, then the guys are always game. You understand? So
okay.
that's just it.
All right. Now, in the era that we grew up, or we're still growing, being Africans and being Nigerians, all of us on this panel are Nigerians. We've been kind of indoctrinated to believe that sex, once you have sex with someone, chances are they might not take you seriously. You probably won't be married to that person. And this is for Shade and Celia. If a guy feels I can get sex easily from you, and I'm trying to demystify sex now, would you not feel like, okay, it's a saying, that saying that why why get milk when you can get it from free from a cow? So why would that guy now take you seriously if you have not defined what the relationship, and boom, first dates, we're already having sex? The guy might think, well, there's no point in me trying to woo you for anything. Sex is ultimate for some guys too. So at what point do you then, okay, well, I want you to take me seriously, but the onset of the relationship has been in muddled waters? Either of you can.
Okay,
Shall I
well,
go? Okay.
okay, yeah, shall they go?
Okay, let me get this straight. Let me say this out. It's not like some girls are going on these dates, some, I said, to have sex. What I'm saying is there's a connection, maybe after talking, I'm having a drink, you guys, get along, blah, 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 and that happens. It's not all girls that do it, and it's not like you have to do it. But I'm just trying to say there's no big deal. That's me, where I'm coming from. It's sex, But now back to your question. What if you guys do it the way we were brought up? No sex on the first date, no even sex before marriage. Does that mean that it will work? Does that mean that it would last? If we're all taking chances, we're all taking risks. But what I'm trying to say is, let's not make sex like, if I have sex with him on the first day, that means I'm a bad girl. And I'm sure those kind of guys, it doesn't mean that after chasing you for 6 months, he wants to dump you if he wants to dump you. Some men are like that. They want to get in, they'll do everything you want, and they'll still leave you. Now, I'm talking as a grown-ass woman right now. So at this stage and age of my life, if I want to do whatever I want to do on the first date, it's my body,
It is your
my
body.
right.
Exactly.
I want to have fun. When we're talking about kids in the 18, 20, blah, 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 that's a different thing, because they want, but at this age, I should know what I want. And, if I'm with a matured man that he wants to have fun, I hope he's matured enough to tell me we're just going to have fun. And I'll tell him if I want to buy that or not. So we shouldn't make it like, oh, he has sex with me and left me. But you enjoyed it. So what's all this thing about he left me? So he left you, so you left him. It didn't work. You cut your losses and move on. That's how I see it. To me, it's not a big deal. Doesn't make you a bad girl. Doesn't mean that, if he sees you that way, that's his problem. Probably a shallow-minded person. Anyway,
Okay.
we moved away from that kind of situation. We're in a different era, for God's sake.
Celia.
Okay, I mean, one thing that Shadi said that kind of sort of hit the nail on the head is where you are in your life, right? So, Shadi, you've been there, you've done that, you've got a t-shirt. You're a grown woman, you know when you want to have sex or not. You can even get dressed and go to a bar and say, I feel like having sex. I don't have anybody to have sex with. I'm gonna pull a guy. You pull the guy, you have sex with him, done, dusted, nothing, no attachments, no strings attached, because you've satisfied what you want, right? But I also believe that and that's the level, maybe when you know that, okay, you are at that point of your life where you can do whatever you want to do and you don't have to answer to anybody. You don't have to prove anything to anybody because it's your body and you want to do what you want. But I can also look at the other point of the other spectrum where you're younger, you want to get married, or you want to be in a relationship, right? So then you can start thinking, okay, I meet this guy on Tinder, we go out for drinks, and then I have sex with him.
See, I talking to the wrong girl. I don't think like that.
I always social media.
Can I finish though? Can I finish? Because it's very good for guys to be saying, oh, it doesn't mean anything. But those same guys, right? When your friends finish smashing that girl on the first date and comes and brags to you that they've just smashed the girl on the first date, you guys are going to be the same one saying that girl is very loose. Maybe I should enter next. Since you agree for you, it go agree for me. And then you guys will start lining up and hitting that girl one after the other. I'm not saying any woman should not do what they want to do with their body. But if it's a first date, right? You've never met this guy before. You guys have never really had any meaningful conversation. Isn't there more for you to know about each other than going to bed each other? I'm just asking, is there not more for you guys to learn about each other than going to bed and just having sex? At the end of the day, sex means different things to different people. Okay, and as I think Mr. Jagujantik said, some people see sex as very sacred, and and again, that's where religion comes into play, right? Because people will say, okay, no, you have to be bed undefiled, and other people will be like, well, no, I can't just, for me, given how they've been raised, they might think that having sex on the first date is not morally right. Again, that is someone that has a different upbringing from somebody else, for example. Do you understand? So we have to think about what we want for ourselves. I wouldn't necessarily have sex on the first date, especially when I meet the person on Tinder, or maybe Yori introduces me to a guy, right? And then the next thing,
I know good people.
Do you understand? You introduce me to a guy, and then you say, okay, Celia, you say you want somebody. I've met this guy. His name is Kemi or whatever. Yeah, and I've given him your number. You guys can go out on Saturday evening. Yori, how are you gonna feel when I go out on Saturday evening and then the guy comes and says, oh, Mo, that your friend there, we just... And then you're going to be like, Celia, really? Are you going to embarrass me like that, shagging my friend on the first date? And then the next thing, the guy will tell you, actually, I'm no longer interested. How's that going to make you feel? Knowing that you've just introduced me to a guy that has now used me. And I'm not coming to tell you, but that guy never contacts me since now. I really like him now. What's up with him? And you're going to be like, well, I'm sorry, you ruined it for... So, I don't know. There are lots of things to consider. If you're the kind of person that does not mind, then how many guys are you going to sleep with on the first date? How many guys are you going to go on a date with and say,
Okay, Celia, let me answer that question, please.
How would you say
in the first place, such girls don't sleep every first date with the guy. I said when there's a connection. Yeah? But then, if you're excited to introduce me to someone, right?
I know good people.
I would have been talking to the guy to know where his head at. Some men, that they want to settle down. Some men, they just want to have fun. So it's not.
But that's what I said though at the beginning of my conversation when I said that for me to be able to do something like that, I must have been speaking to the person first, and we must have developed some sort of connection, some relationship for me to say, okay, yes, I know what we spoke about. I know where we are both at in this, what should I call it, a relationship, and I know where we want, what the goal is. Whether or not we reach that goal, it doesn't really matter. But at the beginning, we set a precedent and we know that, okay, we like each other, we would like for the relationship to lead somewhere, but it might not. And that doesn't mean if I now sleep with you on the first date, we now have to get married. Of course not. Do you understand? But what I'm saying is, sometimes it's just good to know someone a bit more. Except you just want to have a good time, and that's fine too. If that's what you want to do.
There are some girls, they meet a guy on Tinder, they go out on the first date, and they say, oh, I can't marry this one, but it's not bad to smash. And they do, and they move on. There's some girls like that. They don't think about it. They just okay, whatever,
I have a question, though.
Go on, Jagujantis, because I have a question for you guys too.
So, I noticed that plenty of time women in our community, they are not confident enough to say it, but they do their risk assessment. They'll be like, God, we may say it won't happen. If it doesn't happen, at least let him meet me in a clean mood. They will shave the whole thing, shave it, shave the armpit, shave this, but they're not going there for the sex.
Exactly.
But if it happens, at least this guy is charming, is nice. We've been flirting on the phone, we've been chatting on WhatsApp and stuff. But he respects me and I respect him. But who knows? This place we are going, who knows? And then they shave, they make the place, they prepare the place. And if they say no and the guy respects the no, fine.
Yeah.
But they're not saying it by mouth. He's touching
By
her,
action.
she's responding. They're talking by action. She's like, oh, are we gonna do this yet? Stop. Okay, don't stop. And then they start. And then the thing falls out and she quickly grabs it and puts it back. And this is the first
Spare
day.
us the details, please.
So
I don't know why we have to go details.
this thing, we have to understand that there is levels to it. There is a level of maturity and bond
I agree.
that can make you smack somebody on the first day.
Okay.
It's not the same as meeting at the restaurant in Vauxhall and going to another.
It's true, though.
Okay. Now, let me ask Funsho and Jagbajantis. We all agree that sometimes it's a risky business to build a relationship based on sexual feelings alone. Life itself is a risk. But let's be clear at the same time. Male and female have different emotional responses to sex. And this is not me being stereotypical. We women tend to wear our hearts on our sleeves, and we often feel a deeper emotional attachment to the act of lovemaking, while you men is just sex. So for Funsho and Jagbajantis, why is that you guys can lock off like that? To you, we've seen instances where women have sex or be with someone, and next minute they're already planning marriage, they already got butterflies in their brain, but you guys are able to just close off. Why is it so easy for you guys to just do that?
Okay, maybe I'll respond before Jagbajantis. So I am not a lady, so I don't know how you guys are wired.
I've just told you the way we are wired.
But the way we are wired, it takes more than sex for you to pin me down. Me, for example. So I've had great moments with ladies in the past, but there are other things I look for. Like there's this lady I met when I got here. Yeah, it was great. It was awesome. But
what was awesome?
What's your problem?
The relationship.
No, I just wanted to be
the
sure.
relationship was awesome.
You want me to give examples like Jagbajantis give?
No, I just wanted to be clear what was awesome. Was it the relationship or the sex?
Sex was awesome because I'd been speaking to her, and it was when I first got here, and it was like a long span for me for the first time in a long time without getting my freaky on. And I was speaking to this lady, was supposed to see, but we didn't see. I went to Nigeria, I got recharged, I got back here, and my senses was in the right place. Because in the initial stage, I was chasing because I wanted something desperately. So I went back to Nigeria, I got recharged, I got back here, and I was fine.
Sorry. When you say recharge, did you go to Nigeria? No, I just needed to be clear. So you weren't having sex. You now went back to Nigeria. How many thousand miles? 6-hour flight.
Yeah, I had to travel home now. I traveled home.
You had enough sex to last you for a lifetime before you came back.
At least.
Moving
what
on.
I'm saying is that at least my battery was recharged. I don't know when it was going to get depleted.
Okay.
But for that moment, I was fine and I was able to think straight. And she came based on what we've been discussing before I went home. And at that point, I said, no, I'm no longer interested in any relationship or anything. Let's just finish it like that. But she had already gotten involved. She had been talking and like that.
That's very wicked of you. That's not nice.
These things happen. I'm retired now. I'm not proud of all the things.
Actually, I'm guilty of that. So
Shadi, I'll come to you. 1 minute.
These things happen. These things do happen. So I got back and I was in my right senses. I was like, okay, I have a girlfriend. I left Nigeria and I don't want to get anything serious like that. And this lady at that point was like, okay, she's already invested in it. Even though I've not touched her, nothing. And she just wanted us to like be together. And yeah, it happened. The sex happened. It was nice. And it continued. And I liked the girl. I started developing feelings. Again, he was supposed to go beyond that. But there were other things I saw that wouldn't make me stay.
Such as,
I think I told you guys that FBI, CIA, MI6, KGB put together. They can't do a good job like that. And I wanted peace of mind in my life. Anything she sees on my phone, she tells me, blah, 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 blah. She wouldn't even come to me to ask me what happened. Who is this person? Nothing. She just concludes in her own mind. And that didn't make me feel comfortable. And that was why I was like, no, this can't move. So it doesn't have to do with the sex on the first date or whether I was taking it serious or not, but it had to do with other things. And that is how we guys are wired. We might have the sex. The sex might be good. The sex will make us all want to come back all the time. The sex will make us want to think about you. We care about you, give you anything you want. But will it make us settle down with you? No, it won't. There are other things involved. So that's from my own angle. I don't know whether Jawajantis are different.
Well,
Why is it that sex is just sex for men? Why is it that you're so, and not you, but you guys are able to have like 7, 8, 9 sex partners and it doesn't mean anything, but women, once we're locked on one person. Yeah, go on.
If I go by biology, by science, but not by emotions. If I go by emotions, a lot of people will be angry. A lot of women, especially.
No, talk about the emotions.
But if I go by science, men are made to procreate. A man can impregnate 999 men in 1 year. A woman can only give birth once in a year. So we have to understand that a man can go on this woman, do 1 round, lose erection, go to the second woman and have erection immediately, boom.
Yeah, that's
and
correct.
Finish there, lose erection. The woman can touch him from head to toe, from morning to night, and he won't have erection. And the next lady will show up naked, dangle the boobs in his front, and it will go boom again. And that can go on and go on and go on.
Your chairman don't have sense.
And there is no emotions attached, no connection, no love. It's just a question of put petrol in fire, fire goes off. So we have to understand that is the way we men are created. That's the way we're wired. The moment you start seeing a man that this thing I'm about to say is different from being loyal and not being loyal. There are some men, because they have this, what's that testosterone stuff that they always say? When the man has this woman nature in them. Feminine, yeah. When a man has this feminine
estrogen.
Is that what they call it? Whereby they just act like women, they feel like women, their emotions are like women. They have these gayness in them, but it's not pronounced. They behave like that. They behave like that. But a normal man can jump from one woman to another and to another and to another and continue like that without connection. And it's not because they don't love their wife. You can give them millions of dollars today. It will make them leave their wife. They will go back to their wife. But that doesn't mean they won't smash outside. So it's the way it is.
So in short, what you're saying is that genetically you guys are not wired to be.
Yeah, just to put more perspective into what Jabojas is just trying to say.
Okay.
See, we can see a lady. You've not seen her before. You've not spoken to her before. She just passes. And you keep imagining what it would be like for a ringtone in bed, or what it would be like when you enter, whether
you see the house, you're like,
it is just the way we are wired. So I know some people will be claiming holy, it's fornication. Forget it. We are men. We see. And we are moved by only this sight. And at that point that you are moved by that sight, if anything comes from the lady, as maybe the antenna comes up and says, okay, I'm ready to receive. And you're able to, at that point, the only thing you're thinking of is that. Okay. And that is why we don't attach any emotions to it, because until that chairman is satisfied, you don't come back to your real senses. When the chairman is satisfied, I shouldn't have done this. So 5 minutes.
But sorry, Yuri, sorry. Me, I have another kind of character to this thing we're talking about. Some guys will go out today to a club in Nigeria or travel to Lagos or America and see new girls, all these girls in the club. And the guy will tell them, oh, I'm going to collect 20,000 naira, 50,000 naira, 100,000 naira. And they will take them home. And in the morning, they're gone. I can't do it. I can't carry on the show. I can't sleep with somebody I can't kiss. Okay. There must be connection.
Yeah.
If there is no connection, if we haven't been talking, we haven't been flirting, we haven't been doing stuff. I can't just meet you tonight. And then we're negotiating, and then I take you home. And then you put your mouth to one side. And then when I'm doing it, you're saying thank you. You collect
For
your money and go.
for you, that person, you have to build a relation. You have to have
Of
some
course.
connection. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Let me deviate a bit and go to the ladies. Shade, I'll start with you and then go to Celia. Women are not allowed to be sexually free. Okay. So it's not even when you start having normal conversations among your friends and you start talking about how comfortable you are with your
They judge you.
sexuality, they judge you. So, Shade, what more can we do? And this is not trying to get women out there to be loose, using the words that we're. How do we get women to be more comfortable in who they are, owning their sexuality, and if and when they choose to have sex on a first date, they're not castigated as being loose?
I think they are now. I think they are. They used to not, but I think most of my friends in their 40s are, we talk about sex, talk about toys, talk about what have you got. We discuss that now. And at the same time, we go to church and we pray. We're prayer warriors. So it just depends on your friend, like click, I'm a very free person, as you can see. I ask questions, I want to know, I want to ask Celia, have you ever, had an orgasm before? You love it? What turns you on? We have to. We're not in our 20s when we are told, shh, we're now in our 40s. I am anyway. So we've changed, and and then when you see all these young girls and the things they do, I used to be like, you hear that a young girl of 18 is having threesome, foursome with 4 men, and you're like, what's going on here? So I think we've changed. I think so. We might just not want people to know how sexual we can be, especially the men, since they're very judgy. But the kind of people I talk to, they're very here upstairs and they're very exposed, and they don't look at you just because you dress a certain way, that you're an olosho. You might want to look good and look nice, and when we're going to club, you dress very sexy. You might not dress like that the next day to church. So I think it's just maturity and the age we are in. I don't have friends that I can't discuss anything with.
I also want, just to add to what Shadi said, I think a lot has changed compared to now. Those are in the 40s or and above.
Yeah.
With those that are in their early 20s now. So in Clubhouse, when I used to be very, very active there. Oh God.
Baba Clubhouse.
Can you imagine?
in Clubhouse, when I used to be very active there, most of the ladies that were on that platform were in their early 20s, late 20s. And when we talk about topics like this with sex and like that, they're very open. They're not like when I was growing up or when I started to do active service. Ladies are more open now, and if they want to smash you, they smash you. If they don't want to smash you, they don't smash you. And if they smash you and you go around telling people it's your business, it's your cup of tea. The fact that I smashed you doesn't mean I'm going to smash your friend. It doesn't mean I'm loose. You get? So the mentality has totally changed. I know that there are still a few, or there are still some people that still say, no, Christianity,
I once told a lady
like that. But yeah, a lot has really changed compared to what it was before.
I think our parents and the religion messed most of my generation up with, you don't talk about sex, you don't express how you want, you just, you have to get married to a good man. Man will not see you as a good man, a good woman if you do this or say it this way or do that. And then the men as well, if we're going to be honest, they do want those type of women in bed. They just don't want you out there bringing it all out.
They don't want to marry you. They don't want to marry women like that, but they want that kind of a woman as a side piece. Yeah.
No, they even want their wives sometimes to act like that in the bedroom. They do. They want their wives to be expressive, but at the same time, when you're out with me, you behave yourself like it. If you're from Yoruba, or they like, oh yeah, there's a certain way you have to behave. But that's not how it goes. Time has changed.
I remember a while ago, someone on the show came and said that when they have a boyfriend, they would show all these their sex styles and be very acrobatic in bed and let the boyfriend know that they know their sex positions and all sorts of things. Do you understand? But then when they get married, they're going to be like, oh, missionary, holy Mary, because they don't want their husbands to think that they're promiscuous. Like, where did you learn this one from? You must be a very loose woman.
Exactly. Some men are like that, the way they think. Yeah. Very back. Yeah, you're right.
A couple had a problem a while ago, and they brought their case to me, and they were saying things like, anytime I tell her that we should do this, she will say she's a born again. Anytime I say we should do that, she'll say, oh, her dad is a pastor, or this and that. And these are normal things that husband and wife should explore and enjoy together in their relationship. So this guy started speaking to one girl outside. Whenever he's with the girl, he will be himself. He will be real. He will smoke cigarette. They will drink together. Time out there is heaven to him. They will do all sorts of positions, all sorts of angles. But when he comes home and speaks to the wife is like, no, my body is the temple of God, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And they started having problems. And I told the wife, see, did he say he wants to come inside you from anus? He's not talking about anal, right? But he's just saying, you should doggy, you should speak to the mic. Hello, microphone check, 1 2 1 2. All those things, they don't.
So, excuse me, I blame the man as well, because when you're cutting her, you should tell her what you want. You should tell her how you want it. You should talk to her. So it's not just by asking.
They probably wouldn't have been married then if he had.
No, but the thing about it is that why would you want something different and you married, and then those are key things that we need to discuss before we get married.
You already mentioned the problem. You said our parents, they created a lot of that problem for us, because when you're doing that courtship, you're not allowed to discuss some things. You're both forming born again. I'm a Christian, or I want to marry from a church, because the girls in the church, they're a little bit decent. They're not wild. Meanwhile, you want the cat woman inside the church girl. You already answered that question in your previous discussion. So I just told them, you have to speak to each other, understand what makes you both happy. Be yourself, be real. Tell her, this is how I want it. You too, tell him what you want. But you're being reserved, you're forming this, you're forming that. That still won't make you enter heaven. So it's not how you do your sex that will make you enter heaven. What will make you enter heaven is in your heart, is here. So there is a lot we need to correct in that African community, especially we Nigerians.
Especially women that are saying that husbands are cheating. The young girls, they are learning things, they're exploring. So they will take your man if you're not careful. If you don't want to prove yourself, they will take your man away with all the sexual things that they are doing. They're learning things, they're buying stuff, they're doing stuff.
Another thing we should, like, going back to the main topic, which is sex on the first date. Another thing we should do as parents now, those of us that have male children, is to educate our male child that sometimes the woman owns her body. Whatever she wants to do with her body or sexuality, it's for her. If she decides to have sex with you on the first date, it's because she thinks you are worthy of giving you her body, and that's what she's giving you. It doesn't make her a loose girl or a bad girl. So I think those are the things that we should talk about. If you're in a Christian home and you don't want your son to have sex before marriage, good and well. You tell him. But now making other people because they have decided to do this or because it's their choice, I think we should do a bit of educating, because a lot of girls have actually moved on, but the guys are still, especially that are hell bent on holding that old way of life that our fathers, our forefathers have done. And they are the ones that are still going out there and blackmailing or body shaming the ladies, that kind of thing. So
can I could just ask, and this is me just asking, and I'm going to Celia, because obviously everyone here, we have our religion, but looking at religion, especially the Christian religion, sex at any point, being on first date, last date, 25th date, is not considered something we should actually conduct or should do. Would it not be better to, and this is me trying to understand sex on a first date, would it not be better to at least know that person, establish a mental connection with respect, and then sex now like the cherry on top of the cake? Does it have to happen on the first date? And not just Celia, to the rest of you. And this is like the old school. So how long should you wait before you start popping people's cherries?
Okay, I mean, for me, I'm very old school. Like, I'm absolutely old school.
That was why I came to you, because I know you're very old school.
I'm very old school, but again, don't be fooled, okay? Because this bitch can change it. Okay, I'm very old school, but at the same time, right? I just feel having, as I said before, if this is someone I have been speaking to for weeks, for months, and I have established a connection with them, as Jagbajantik said, you know, you flirted on the phone and you've talked and you've said things. You have a connection, and as Sade said, you guys know where you want to take the relationship. If I then meet you for the first time, me sleeping with you, I don't consider that as sex on the first date. Period. That's just my own, right?
That's how I
Everybody
do
has,
as well.
yeah, because I know we already have something that we're building, right?
Yeah.
Now, for me, I just really, I'm not judging anybody that does it. I'm not saying if you want to just have sex. I've dated guys before I got married, where I've dated a Pakistani guy before, and I knew I could never marry the boy.
When you told me that, I was
Right?
shocked. Blow it out of the water.
So what I'm trying to say is, I want, and this guy, before this happened, we worked together in the same place, so we kind of built a friendship, and and that was how it happened. But I might want to just meet a guy for the first time and sleep with him on the very first day, no matter how horny I am. No, it's not happening, right? But are other people, am I going to judge other people that would do that? No, I won't, because I don't know how horny they are, right? But again, when it comes to religion, I think we have to be very careful, because a lot of things are happening. People are doing bed undefiled, right? And then when they get into the marriage, they find out the man is impotent, he's not fertile, and vice same thing goes for the woman. Do you understand? They start finding out a lot of things, which will then lead one partner to go and cheat, and then lead them to end it, to dissolving the marriage and all those sort of things. So I really don't know, but I think I don't know how they're going to do it. How are you going to tell your pastor that you need to try the goods before you get married? So maybe if you guys are mature enough, you don't need to tell your pastor. Talk about what you like sexually, and then maybe try it out and see. It doesn't have to be on the first date, but at some point, just try it out, because I really cannot marry any man that I haven't had sex with. I'm sorry, because I don't know I don't know what it would be like. A man that cannot kiss, and then you're trying to kiss him, and then he's just blocking you like this with his tongue, and then what? It's just really, I remember when I was dating my husband, I was in the choir in church, and obviously, bed on the father and all that. But girl, I was going to Germany. I was knowing my husband in the ways that you should know a man. And when I would bring chocolates to church, nobody wants to eat it, because they'll say Celia has gone to Germany to bring fornication chocolate. Yes. Okay, and nobody. So I didn't care. I carried on with my relationship. My husband, when he came to Germany, we went to church together, so people saw, okay, this is Celia's boyfriend at the time. And then we got engaged, and then we got married. And some of those women today, they are still there in their 40s, going to 50, no husband. And these are the same women that were saying, oh, look at you, you are going to Germany to fornicate. So if you want to fornicate to someone that will end up being your husband. That's how I see it. Do you understand? So I don't know. I'll leave it there.
Let me say my own experience.
Yes, I was coming to you, Shishadi.
So my situation that happened, you like Amebo. That situation that happened, it was like I just had a bad breakup with someone, and then had this guy talking in my ears for months. We're talking on the phone for a very long time. I wanted to like him, but when you're still hurting and still wanting the other one that just broke your heart. So we're just okay, let's meet up. And then we did meet up, and it was just like, probably as a rebound, I don't know, but I just wanted to have fun that night. He was all right. Was a good guy, looks all right.
Was it good sex?
Was it good sex? I was going to ask.
It was.
Was the sex good?
Jabbaganti, you're not talking, eh? Was the sex good?
I like when Shade is talking. I always like to hear that talk.
Wait, Shade, was the sex good?
The sex was amazing, but my head was not there, so I shut it down. And back then in Nigeria, he was from Canada. He's never met a woman that wouldn't start bothering him with calls the very next day. I just blocked him. So he started looking for me. He was looking for me. He kept going all around Mara Gardens trying to find me. Finally, he found me after like 2 weeks, and he couldn't believe his luck. And he dragged me, he followed me home. And it was like, I don't see girls like you. Normally, when I sleep with them, and I'm the one running away. And then suddenly this girl just blanked me. So I think that was new for him. So then we started dating, and then, it was a very nice relationship that I had with him. And we're still friends to date. But I just thought, well, okay, I'm just going to have fun tonight. I still want my boyfriend, and I still wanted to go back to my boyfriend. But, it was been months, and then, when you have a nice time with a guy, it's not just by having a drink. We had nice conversation, nice meal. it just was probably meant to happen because I don't normally do that. I'm like, no, not on the first date. And that actually opened my eyes to when dealing with a matured person that knows where he didn't judge me and say, oh, she's loose. He was amazed. He wanted to be with me, So, I guess I was good as well. So you never know.
I know you're my friend, you're good. No, but Shadi, let me ask you, does it matter if the guy is someone in the community and you guys kind of have mutual friends? Would it matter? So say for instance, Funsho, Jabajantis, most of my friends, and something happened, and would it matter?
And they're single, they're not married.
No, single, obviously.
And like we went out on a date and we like each other and we agreed that was
the
just
guy is known, you are known, both of you know each other, you have mutual friends, and you go on a date.
But then it depends on the guy. So if I'm with a guy and afterwards he has a loose mouth, that's his problem. It doesn't look nice on a young man in his 40s to be loose. You might think it's a big deal. When you're in your 20s, yes, you can be like, oh, I've slept with her. But when you're in your 40s and you're talking like that, you're a piece of shit.
That's why I said
this thing is about age.
It's not short.
I mean,
it's not even just age. I think it's just about maturity and respect.
I was going to say
maturity and respect, because a 20-year-old might not even do that, whereas a 40-year-old and a 50-year-old will just be talking.
You're right. You're very right. I think it's maturity, but then I wouldn't also pull my pants down for someone I don't think has brain. You know what I'm trying to say?
But if it's a one-night stand, how do you know the person will not have brain?
One-night stand is different.
Shade and Celia, this is just me asking. Sometimes good sex comes from useless people at times. So where do you then put that?
No. I used to have a girlfriend that she used to come to my room to get condoms when she's going to club. And I'm like, what's going on? She's like, I'm just going to have fun tonight. So she's on the pro. She's going to select who she's going to sleep with for the night. And that's her thing. She likes that. She likes one-night stands. It's not about a date. We're talking about dating. Even if you met someone on Tinder, you must have been chatting for a while. So even now agree to go out on a date. So it's different. There's some things that you would ask. You don't want to go out with someone that will now kill you at the end of the night. So you won't just go out with any crazy person. And I've also had some very loose mouth and very good sex partners as well. I've got friends with so many different experiences. So they've had this crazy guy that everyone thought is crazy, and then in bed is fantastic. So everybody.
That's what I just said. That there's some stupid people with good equipment and they know how to use it.
I know. I
don't need it. I don't need it.
Before I go to Jabajantis and Funsho, Celia, you said something like you are the kind of person, because I know you're very old school. So at what point would you then smash? Because obviously first date you're not doing it, second date. So ballpark figure, at what point?
I don't think there's an amount. I'm not going to be counting, okay, now this is the 5th date or the 7th date. I think it just is the connection that I would have with that person, right?
Yeah, but you could have connection with that person on the first date.
No, I might do. But let's even assume this is someone I met on Tinder, or someone was introduced and I've never met them before, and we went on a date, and maybe we've spoken for like a week, and eventually we go on a date and we meet. I am definitely not going to sleep with you on the first. It's not going to happen. Even though I am dripping, it will not happen.
So honestly, at what points?
I don't know. So it number one, it depends on the things.
What would unlock the goods is what I want to find out.
It depends on the things that's coming out of your mouth, right? Where do you, because I'm gonna, except I'm just horny, I just want to have sex, right?
Yeah,
but then that I can go and do with somebody else. I don't have to do it with someone that has been introduced to me, for example, right? So for me, what would make me think, okay, we have to be thinking that, because there's something in my head where I say I'll never sleep with a guy that I'm not in a relationship with. Okay, I'm not saying that I'm not going to marry, right? But I will never sleep with a guy that I'm not in a relationship with. So if you are a guy and you haven't asked me to be your girlfriend, and we haven't made that agreement that yes, we're in a relationship, you're not going to sleep with me. And it will be interesting to see if there's any guy out there that will come out and say, actually, yesterday I did sleep with you, but we're not in a relationship. There isn't any. I'll never sleep with a guy that I'm not in a relationship with, right? Okay, but in saying that, even after we decide, okay, yes, because the way things are these days, I've been married almost 10 years in January, right? the way things are these days, they're very different. Because 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when the guy meets you, he will ask you out.
Thank you. I'm having that problem, Celia. I'm having that problem right
You
now.
understand? The guy will ask you
in a
out and say,
relationship.
will you be my girlfriend?
Yeah.
So you will know that, okay, yes, me and this person, when I met my husband, we met online first, right? And he asked me out over the phone, and I said yes. I said yes, I'll be your girlfriend, because he thought, oh, maybe, you know, as we're talking now, we are not kids now, we understand what we want. I said, no, I don't do all that one. You have to say the words, yeah? Say the words, and my soul will be healed. Okay? I said, no, you need to
They
say
don't
the
do that
words.
anymore. They
And
don't
when
do
he
that.
said it, I said, okay, when you come to London and I meet you at City Airport, you now need to say it again face to face. And he did. Do you understand? So for me, a guy, we laughing there. For me, a guy we have to establish what we are doing.
See trap.
Once we know what we are
I
doing,
agree with Celia
then-
on that one. Celia, I do agree with you, because there's recently a situation like that, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? Are we in a relationship? You know, like, what's going on? But my friend said that's what they do nowadays. They don't go into. I said, no, I don't know. We need to know what we're doing, because am I going to keep dating? Are
Okay.
we exclusive? What's going on?
yeah, to say we are just having fun on whose
Ah.
time?
Then tell me we're just having fun,
But
so
it
that I
is
put in my
mutual
head.
closing,
agreement
hold
now.
on,
As
in
I am
closing,
doing, you are enjoying.
Funsho,
So
hold on.
No.
In closing, let me ask Funsho and Jagbajantis. So, going from what Shade and Celia have said, so if someone does not define the relationship, does it not mean anything to you guys then? So we can have sex and that's it.
Not
So
me.
if I don't want a relationship, there is a way of going about it. There is a way. If when
Before you even answer Jagbajantis, why would you be going on a date if you don't actually want a relationship? I don't get it.
because
Might
you
be
just want
lonely.
to smash, you just want to enjoy each other. You just want to smash. So when you're chatting, there are ways to channel your discussion into the flirting mode, and then it will grow into, I want to smash this guy, I want to smash this girl. We don't necessarily have to say, you know what, I have this kind of feeling. I just think me and you should take this to the next level. You know, we have to break rules to make things right sometimes. And I think I want to be my girlfriend. All these stories are lie. If you don't want that drama, there are ways you can channel your communication with that particular lady through a path that leads into flirting. You just have to throw the right questions, and you already know the answer that is coming. So if you don't get that feedback, you know that's a roadblock. You go this way. So when you finally end at that point where you have earned our confidence and trust, then you can start talking about, I'm talking to you, see your this thing is standing in your shirt. Or you go and put on some. She too will now be throwing some kind of
Jabs back.
Then you will know that, yes, this energy, this one will end up smashing. And then she will be thinking, when is he going to ask me out? But it is wrong. You too, enjoy it while it lasts. Don't let him have that power of control, like, yes, I'm in charge. You are not in charge, oh boy. We did it. You do me, I do you. End of story. Exactly.
So I like one statement that everybody has been making, especially Shadi, that there's a new generation, that there's a new way of dating. So I dated late into towards my late 30s before I got married. So I kind of enjoy part of that new generation of of dating. What I'm trying to say in essence is that if I'm with you, it is your own duty. The way I look at it, it is your own duty to define it, because a guy doesn't want to be tied down. You are the only one that can make him commit and say, okay, yeah, I want to be a boyfriend, or I want us to take this thing serious, or whatever. Again, but if you don't do that, you just feel, okay, I've been flirting with you, I've been telling you things you want to hear, and you're enjoying it. You think that because I'm saying all those things, you're automatically my girlfriend. Good luck with that.
But Funsho, that's not entirely true, though. Do you know how many women have defined a relationship and the man was just like defining it there? You are in this relationship on your own.
So that one is a different ball game entirely. That one was defined, but the guy is just an asshole. And you would have seen the handwriting on the wall that this guy is not serious. You can take your walk. But in a case where you're assuming, I think I shared a story here before when I was serving NYSC, and this girl, we were talking. She met me. I was alone in the Corpus Lodge. I was the CLO. I was the top brass in NYC, and the girl thought because there was no girl around me, I didn't have any girlfriend, but I had a girlfriend back in Lagos, and she wanted us to make sure I played along. It was after the thing has done. It was I think then she now asked me, who is that girl that is always calling us? But that's my girlfriend. You never told me because you didn't ask. It's very
But why
simple.
didn't you volunteer that
Why didn't
information?
you tell her though?
No,
Why didn't you tell her?
like I said, we're not dating. I was talking. She was
So you were
enjoying.
just smashing. You see, that's it. Friends with benefit. The girl thought you guys were in a relationship, but you knew that you weren't in a relationship. Yeah. So
That
whose
is
Well,
fault
why
is
she
it?
should have
she
asked as well.
define it.
She should
It
have
was
asked
a
as well.
That is why I'm
relationship.
saying she should define it. So
She
you have
should
been
have
seeing
asked
that
as
girl
well.
call me all the time, and you didn't ask. And I saw you that you've been seeing it, and you didn't ask. I thought you were comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So you were assuming. I
But
also
you see,
was assuming.
But you see, that's why in some instances, that if you're not just horny and you just want to have sex, this is why having sex on the first date is not nice. Because sometimes when women have sex on the first date, especially when they've seen the boy's picture, and as Yori said, they've planned their wedding already just by seeing picture, and they are so in love with the guy, whereas the guy has put condom in his pocket from home to just come and smash. By the time you get there and you finish smashing, the guy will off the phone or block your number, and then you will be calling and be calling and be calling. He will not answer your phone call.
Celia, sometimes you wait after 6 years, like my case, and still it do not work. It doesn't really matter. I think we should just go there and enjoy ourselves, then define whatever you're getting into. And like
But
I
I
said, from the
think
beginning, as a lady, own your body.
it's unfair for a. I think it's irresponsible. I don't know. I don't just think it's right for a guy to be coming on a date. I don't. Okay, maybe you can look at it from both ways. You can't just be coming on a date to meet a woman for the first time and you're carrying a condom to come and smash her. I just think that's just wrong.
It can't happen, Celia.
I'm not saying that's why I said you can look at it from both angles.
It's like
You
going
can
to a
argue
party
it
and
from
saying
both
you
angles,
want
but I
it,
just feel because for me it looks as though the woman is you're gonna prey on her. Do you understand?
And that
Can't
is
you
why
just
I
come and
said-
have an intelligent
Yeah,
conversation
some women
and
have
go
condoms
home?
as well.
That is
Okay,
why I
hold
said.
on.
Shade, hold
Some
on.
women have
Hold on.
condoms
Shade,
as
hold
well.
on.
Shade, hold
That
on.
is why I said the ladies too should own their body. Have it at the back of your mind, no matter what antics this guy brings. I'm not sleeping with this guy. I'm not sleeping. You are own your body. And even if you decide to have sex with that guy on that first date, it is your decision. You should be able to live with it, not live by the tag or the label of the society. It is your.
Let me not lie to you. There is condom in that woman's bag too, but nobody searches a
Yeah,
woman's
in some
bag.
cases.
Hold on,
It's
Shade, come in, and then Jabanatis, and then we
Let me
close.
say something because I've got boys, right? So I'm sorry because I know the way men and boys are wired. My kids will be having condoms with them wherever they go.
That's why I said you can argue it both ways, because again you can see it as being responsible for having a condom, but at the same time I'm just thinking, well, let's not just have anything. Let's just go and have a conversation and just go home, and then we can reconvene later.
Celia, and I'm with you. But when it comes to being responsible and not having baby mamas everywhere and not having any diseases or whatever, it's always good for them to have something in their pocket in case they want to do anything. It's not like he's going there because he wants to smash her. But of course, if it happens, I'm ready. Not like halfway through, I've got a condom. No, oh shit. Then you have to start running up about to go and get condoms. I always like a guy that is ready. Always have your tools ready so that don't come and give me story.
Brilliant.
Let's be honest.
I think we kind of cover it. We'll leave it at that. Well, you've heard it from our panelists today. There's absolutely no shame in how quickly you want to get to bed with someone that you like, you meet on the first date, each to his own. However, if you are seeking a more committed relationship with this person, it might be helpful to think of sex more strategically and ensure that you guys have protection, as Sade, Funshaw, Celia, and Jagbajantis said, because now we have STI, STD, and the ultimate unplanned pregnancies that do happen. So until next week, when we come your way on this same channel at this same time, my advice to you is to get your freaky on. See you next week.
With a condom.
With a condom. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.